everyone. Um, this one is a different video from my art and talking about how to create a graphic novel. My I want to share my thoughts about Charlie Kirk Assassination. Um, my channel is brand new. I don't have uh, hardly any subscribers or viewers, and I know that my channel is not political, and but I think it doesn't matter if you are a big influencer or you have a big channel or not. I think that actually more than ever, regular people like me, everyday people that go to work 40 hours a week, um, they just have a regular life. They are not famous on the internet, celebrity and stuff like that. I think it's time for us to speak up, to let our voice be heard for Charlie Kirk. So his death is not just my dogs. I had to keep the blanket because it's scratching me. And I wasn't a big follower of Charlie Kirk. I recently discovered him and I subscribed to him, like to his channel, like a couple months ago. So I didn't even have a chance to really listen him too much. And but something of this guy, it's really special, because when I heard that he got shot and then later on passed away, it hit me pretty bad. I was shocked. It's since Wednesday when I heard that he passed away that I cry. That's why I wait so long to do a video, even because I wanted to wait and see if we were getting the assassin, who was it, without, and try to calm down. So give me like, I still cried. So I tried to reflect on what to say. And I want to take it out from my chest, my opinion, even if some people won't agree, some people gonna get angry at me, decide don't follow me or subscribe. But at this point, I don't care. What is right is right. And the right things to do is speak up. First of all, I want to say that I'm truly sorry. I keep thinking about his children. I can't imagine living a life without their daddy. I lost my dad when I was 17. Suddenly, he was sick and in 3 days was gone. So my life was turned over upside down, me and my family. My father and I had a beautiful relationship. He was the best man that I ever met, and I miss him till this day. He died in 1995. Until this day, I miss him. And when I think about him, I start to cry. And I was 17. That little girl, I think, is 3 years old. And even if she's so young, she's gonna remember what she saw. And she's gonna have some memory of her dad and a deep hole that is never gonna be filled. When you have a really good relationship with your parents, it can be your mother, your father, and then they go way too young, and you are really young. It's a deep hole. No matter how much money you're gonna have, a beautiful family that you're gonna have, a career, you're gonna miss them. You can't fill that hole. The same for the boy. I think he doesn't even walk yet. And I thought today he's never gonna have a chance to play football with his father. And dude, I say, gosh, how people became so evil for politics. And that poor wife, I don't know, baby. She, I saw clips of her and him together, and I saw her look when she was looking at her husband. I can tell that woman, she is in love. She adore her husband. It was, and I saw it in her eyes. That's the look of an in love, deeply in love woman. And so young too. I wish her that she can find peace. It's gonna be hard to move on for her. Because right now there is so much going on. A lot of people around her, a lot of things to do. But then it is gonna be calm. Everything is gonna go past. That's when she's gonna have a breakdown. Now she's standing up. It's like you are shocked. Because when my dad died, then you have so much going on, friends, family, relatives. You almost don't have time to realize, and then all of a sudden everything's gone, and you sit down and boom. So the kind of love that she still has for her husband, it can't be duplicated. That's love that's rare. It doesn't happen to everyone, unfortunately. And it can't be duplicated. So I wish for her peace. And I'm sure her fate gonna help her a lot. You have to. You have to have faith, something to rationalize what happened. Otherwise, you go crazy. So, it really hit me hard, this one. I was already upset for the Ukrainian refugee girl that happened in Charlotte, which is a couple hours from me. I said, that's really close. North Carolina, wow. And that showed me how it can happen to everyone, anytime, anywhere, any age. When is your time, is your time. And I can't even express I don't know what to say to these people that celebrate. I think I saw they're getting fired. That's minimum. And then they go on TikTok, various social media, and cry because they get fired. Freedom of speech. No, that's not freedom of speech. There is a confusion. I'm not even American, born and raised here. I don't know the difference between freedom of speech, death threats, celebrating death. That's not freedom of speech. You can say, I don't like Trump. Trump is stupid. I can say, I don't like Biden. I don't like a Kamala Harris. But saying that you wish their death, that's not freedom of speech. That's you be a psychopath. You have a deep problem inside you. And all these people in the mainstream media, politics, the Democrats, the left, which is no longer left, but it's communist. I'll tell you like it is because I'm from Italy and I know exactly how communists are. I tell you, when I heard that kid, the assassin, had the engrave on his weapon, "Oh Bella Ciao," my jaw dropped. Because every Italian that it's on the right politics or on the left, the communist, or at the center, wherever we have so many political parties, we don't have just two. Wherever party you are, affiliation or non-affiliation, every Italian know that song, where it comes from and what represent. So this communist going around here in US and say, oh, but he was extreme right fascist, Nick, what's his name, Nick Fuentes, supporter, and Nick Fuentes was jealous. I mean, all this crazy stuff. No, no, don't be fool. I tell you that song. That song is like 100 years old song. It was sang like during World War II. I don't know if it was really during World War II. My mom told me during World War II. They were singing it. It was created, sang by the partisans. We call it partigiani. I think in English it's partisan. Which it was like a militia group or like a rebellion group that were fighting against the fascist regime. They were fighting the black shirt. Uh, at that time, the fascists they were wearing black shirts and they were fighting them, and they had like a resistance, towards the fascist regime. Some see them like heroes. Some see them like scumbags. I heard from my family a lot of stories. I know World War II very well because I had member on my family, like my grandmother, my great grandmother. I never met my grandfathers; they both died very young for the war. And they told me that my great grandmother, one of her son, ended up in a concentration camp. They saw the Nazi come to Italy, so they saw the fascists, they saw the partisan. So I know way more than a history book or any documentary that you watch on TV. because I grew up hearing stories for people that really lived that time. And I had to very grateful to America, because if it wasn't for the American soldier, I wasn't even here. I wasn't born, because my mom, she was only 1 year old, and the Americans came to Italy, and she got really sick. And my grandmother took my mom, that she was a baby, she was 1 year old, to the American camp to ask for help to cure her. And they saved her life. So if it wasn't for America, my mama would never survive. Consequently, I would never be born. So I'm very grateful to America. I'm very patriotic. I love this country. That's the reason why I moved here in 2005. And don't get me wrong, I love Italy too. But the United States is my home now. And I love this country. And I really think this is the best country in the world. And I don't want to see these things that are happening here. I don't want to see United States going in a dark side like that. That you can't even have a discussion, a confrontation with somebody that think differently than you do. That's absurd. For politics or for any other reason. That doesn't have in a civilized country in 2005. This thing can happen. It cannot happen. It cannot anymore. Has to stop. This endless rhetoric from the mainstream media and these Democrats. They went out of their mind. And I tell you, I used to be a Democrat. When I became a naturalized citizen, I voted for the first time in 2017. It was Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. I didn't know who was Donald Trump. I thought he was a celebrity to me. I didn't know that much about him. And I said, I don't think a celebrity can govern our country. So I voted for Hillary Clinton. And my ex-husband and all his family were Democrats. And I never thought that there was that much difference between Democrats and Republicans. I said, well, more or less are the same. There are some difference in few issues. But more or less, they're pretty equal. I didn't see a huge difference like the left and the right in Europe and in Italy. I don't know about Germany and other countries in Europe. I know about my native country. So I didn't see this huge difference. But then and I used to listen all of them. MSNBC, CNN. My ex-husband used to watch Rachel Maddow. He thought that she was super smart. Then I started to watch The Young Turk, Colin Kalinske. I used to watch the Comedy Central with Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart. Then it came Trevor Noah. I was listening to Noam Chomsky. And then I started to listen very well what they were saying and moving more and more towards communism. And I said, and then the things that threw me off, it was when Noam Chomsky started to compare the GOP, the Republicans, like the Nazi Party, Hitler. He said one time, the GOP, the Republicans, is the most dangerous party in the world. They're just like the Nazis. I said, I thought he was going crazy with the hair because he's super old. I said, well, he probably has some dementia. And then I stopped to listen to all of them because I saw they're evil. It wasn't more about politics. I said, this is just like the communists do. And they are communists. I'm not calling American socialists, the left, or the extreme left. No, they're communists. That's what they are. And that song, Bella Ciao, like I said, it's a song from the partisan. And still nowadays, it was embraced by the Communist Party, the socialists and the communists. But the socialists, the communists in Italy, and even France and in Spain, they have roots with the Soviet Union. Because the fascists, the Nazi, and the Soviet Union, they were enemy. Yes, they never conquered Russia, but Russia with the Soviet Union didn't do that much good. It's not that they were heroes. They just didn't want to conquer by a Nazi. They want to just have their communism. And the Nazis, they killed 6 million people, and Stalin killed probably 3 times as much. Stalin killed his own son. They were all evil. It was about conquering land, more territory, and oppress more people in different way. Unfortunately, history doesn't get taught very well. And I have to say, especially here in the US, it's kind of bad. And they always talk about the Nazis and fascists because it happened in Europe. But let's not forget the communists is still well and alive. North Korea, Cuba. Cuba was once a thriving island. Now they're eating in the trash. And I can't believe it's coming here in the US. I can't believe it. The Democrat Party moved so much from being moderate, centrist, to completely going off on the other side. Unbelievable. And I know, and it needs to stop. Something needs to be done because it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because these people, when they don't have power, they are vicious. They are very vicious. They need to stop. It really does. And I'll tell you this, that this mainstream media, these people know exactly what they are doing. They pretend, oh, but it's not us. It's not our words. No, they know. They know exactly what they're doing. They are doing it for 10 years, 24/7, every single day. They're doing this because they know they are brainwashing and radicalized people. They know exactly. Even the people that say, no, isn't. They know exactly what they're doing. So they're creating soldiers so they can do the dirty work for them. Because obviously, Nancy Pelosi is not going to go around shooting people. She's not gonna Chuck Schumer or AOC and all these crazy Democrats. They're not going around with a gun and try to kill Trump. But they say on TV, somebody has to take him down after they radicalized their base for 10 years. And then they come, me? Oh, no. It's not me. It's you. It's Trump with his rhetoric. It's Joe Rogan. Is Matt Walsh. It's not me. It's them. That's what they do. They do the same thing in Italy. They say the most vicious things to Giorgia Meloni. Every single weekend, there is a freaking riot or protest and destroy everything in Italy, but especially Milan. And my mama told me that I'm not saying here and say what they say. She's a woman. You can't imagine what they say about her. But they say things about her daughter too. Her daughter is 10 years old. They wish her the worst things that can happen to a woman. Let's say that. A 10-year-old girl. These people doesn't stop. And I see all these influencers from the conservative, they're getting mad because Cenk Uygur don't go on TV, or Bill Maher, and all of these people don't go on TV and say, yes, it's time to stop. We did a mistake. Trump is not Hitler. The MAGA movement, they're not neo-Nazi. We need to change. We need to start to talk about politics for real without all this craziness. They're never going to do that. Ever. That's admit for them they're wrong. And they know they're wrong, but they don't care. They don't care. Because all they seek is power and control. And how you control people, how you get people when you don't have good policies. We fear. We're brainwashing people and creating monsters unleashed everywhere because they can be your neighbor, your professor, your doctor, any one of them that is so far gone with the head can do the exact same things that the kid in Utah did. And we saw it because Trump got assassinated, tried to be assassinated 3 times. Do you think they're going to stop? 3 times is what we know. Look at what happened to the little kids in the Catholic school. And a lot of people wonder, but what? Christianity is under threat? Yes. You know why? Because communism doesn't have a religion. Communism is against any religion. Communists are atheists. And whoever spread the Jesus words, it's an enemy. It needs to be taken down. Because spreading religion, having faith, spreading Jesus' words, believing God, it's bad. It take away from them. So they need to be killed, eliminated. So that's why there is so much mockery against Christianity, Jesus, and the Jewish. That's not talking about the Jewish. To stop because it's ruined the life of many people. My uncle got radicalized. He's in his 70s and then he passed from being almost adoring Mussolini, which is crazy, to become a full-blooded communist. I tell you this, my aunt is dying of cancer, which is his wife. And the only thing he talks about it and think about it is the hatred that has for Trump, for President Trump, and Giorgia Meloni. And he lives in another continent with the ocean between the two continents. President Trump doesn't have nothing to do with Italian politics, and he hates it. Because there is so much propaganda, it's even worse there. And he got radicalized. Yep. His wife is dying. Trump. That's why they're becoming psychopaths. Because only a psychopath can think to go execute it in front of his family and a lot of kids, students, an innocent man that the only scene he had, it was, let's have a conversation, prove me wrong. But they can't. And they hate because as they got this professor, whatever it's on the internet, it's just like terrorists. These extremist Islamic terrorists, they grab the kids, children, and teach them from early age to hate. So the Nazi will used to do that. So the communists, so the fascists. Hate your enemy. Anybody that think like you is an enemy. You need to be eliminated. So now we have to stop it. Because Antifa is just like Le Brigate Rosse back in the 60s. It was an Italian terrorist group, communist, and they killed a lot of people, CEOs, journalists, because at the time journalists were real journalists, and CEO. In fact, when I saw the United Healthcare get assassinated and cold-blooded like that, I said, this reminds me of the Brigate Rosses in the 60s. So Antifa is just like that. So it's a terrorist group. When they set on fire Tesla, do you think it's normal that a person wake up in the morning and say, I don't like Elon Musk. I'm going to set on fire every Tesla that I see. Arresting people because they were driving a Tesla? That's not normal. That's terrorist. Intimidating. Fear. They shot Charlie Kirk in the throat to say it was a message. Shut up. Don't talk. So they expect now that everybody, shut up, don't talk, in fear. They did the opposite effect, and I'm glad about that. Because that's how you defeat them. You have to stand up to them. You have to be brave. And stop to being nice to them. Which is mean not going around and do riots and be violent. That's what they want. They can't wait that a MAGA guy does something like that to one of them. They can't wait that Trump die. That would be the 4th of July for them. They will shoot fireworks. They can't wait for that. They can't wait that there is a real MAGA person, not one of these that they make up. They try to, oh no, it was MAGA, it was a Republican. They try, but they can't wait that that happen for real. So the best way to defeat ignorance, because they are ignorant, they're stupid, but they're violent, which is the worst combination, It's defeat them with intelligence and being smart. Dave Rubin yesterday gave a really good example how to defeat them. He had a discussion, an argument with Chunky Uger on national TV, Piers Morgan show. And he didn't say many words. He just showed to Chunk what he said with a video on his cell phone. And only the title of the Young Turk, the post Trump is a Nazi, all the MAGA people are a neo-Nazi, and this and that, and then a video of Chunky Uger mocking Charlie Kirk when he got attacked at breakfast, apparently, by Antifa. Chunky Uger was fine, but then, typical communist, it got him angry when he didn't have nothing else to say. He couldn't try to spin, stirring the pot and gaslighting. So what he does, what they do, they get angry. Dave Rubin didn't change Chunky Uger's mind, but he showed to the general public how Chunky Uger is. Hypocrite, liar. And he might not gonna change everybody's mind. It's not easy. But maybe one of these people that watched yesterday live show said, I don't think a Chunky Uger is a good person. And he's not. They're not. None of them is a good person. They know exactly what they're doing. Because they know that Trump is not Hitler. They know that we are not neo-Nazi. That more than half of Americans are neo-Nazi. They know that. They know that Trump is not going to touch the Social Security and stuff like that. They know exactly, but they don't want that he succeed. So that's it. That's the way to stand up to them. You're not gonna change their mind, but the general public will. So don't talk to them that much because they don't listen, and then they talk over to you. Just say, this is what you say. That was you. And they get angry. That's how they are. Just like that girl at school that I saw recently, that she objected her teacher that she was teaching things that were inappropriate. She stood up to the teacher. The teacher kicked her out to the school, from the class. But then what happened? The teacher got fired. Do that. You know your coworker is psychopath? They say crazy stuff? Death threats? Worship death? Denounce him. Loses the job. They don't need space anywhere. You have to reduce their space and let them be ashamed for their own action and words. And kids need to learn that beyond that side, you're not on the good side. You're evil. Because they are convinced they're on the right side. And they're not. Well, those were my thoughts. I had to take it out from my chest, like I said. And I really do hope. And yesterday, see all these candlelights, vigils all around the world. And people pray for Charlie Kirk. I really hope that his death his death won't be forgotten. Now it's fresh. But life go on. And I really hope that things is gonna change for better. I'm afraid of copycats, but we can't live in fear. We can't let evil win. So I really hope that people start to have some kind of reflection, see what kind of direction we want to go as a country. And even in Europe, things are not going well in Europe. So people really need to sit down, have a reflection, and say, even if I have different opinion, different point of view, I'm not hating anyone. And I am sorry even for the assassin family, because I can't imagine what they're going through now. You try to raise your kids the best you can, and then once they're on their own, you can't have your kids in your arms forever. And it's pretty disgusting what they're saying on the media and social media and stuff. I mean, the parents are registered Republicans, so what? So many times so you have a very conservative family, and then you have a child that grew up and to be rebellious against the parents that go to all the opposite direction. Maybe these kids already had some issues. Apparently, now a lot of things are coming out now. He definitely being radicalized. And that song Bella Ciao, that's don't twist it around. No fascist is gonna go around singing Bella Ciao. That's kryptonite for the right. That song that's used from the communists. There's no way around. It's used by the communists. So, but they twist around. I'm not surprised about this gaslighting. It's just like it being a toxic relationship, And I was married with one. It's always your fault. Oh, but you caused the fight. You caused me to do this to you. You caused me. It's your fault. It's never their fault. They never take a responsibility for anything. It's just the same things. It's just like being in a toxic relationship, and we have to get out from this toxic relationship that we have with the Democrats. Unfortunately, I think it's something drastic has to happen to the Democratic Party, because it is no longer a political party. It's just a madhouse there. There are too much extremists. I don't see any of them kind of good. And the so-called squad, they are the worst, probably. They are the one that caused the whole thing. And they tell you what they want to do. They tell you. It's not that they hide it. So you just have to listen. Open the ear. Listen. Like when Mandami talk, that guy that wants to be mayor in New York City, when you say let's just overtax the white people that are rich, well, that's our class war. He wants to do that. I don't think it's possible for a mayor to do something like that, but definitely give inspiration to other crazy people. But he tell you, that's communism 101. Remember what it is. I'll tell you what my grandmother told me about communism in a simple phrase. Communism is What is mine, and what is yours is mine. That's what it is. There is no middle class, upper class, and in a communist regime. There is either, or, they are equal, they are equally poor. There is no private property. This is not land that you can own. There is no homes so you can own business. Everything belongs to the government, and you work for the government. That's why they're starving to death. Yeah, they talk about equality, yes. Not for themselves, for all of us. Be equally poor. Don't own anything. We take care of you. For some, that might look, oh, that's great. I don't want to do that. No, you work to death to maintain them so they can get rich. They live in nice palace. Kim Jong-un has nice meals, has a nice life. So Fidel Castro, so Che Guevara is the population that live eating trash. I can't believe it. The United States has to deal with this. Never in my life, ever. I would ever thought the United States will have a political party like the European left, based on the Soviet Union dream. Never. But America, I trust this country. And I saw it yesterday. A lot of people start to stand up and say, that's enough. This was, it went too much out of control. Like I said, this is no longer politics. It's not. I know, baby. It's not. And I saw it when Trump won, this woman going on TikTok shaving their hair. Like, now people were making fun of them, and I said, we have a problem. This is psychosis. And these people can be your neighbor or the teacher of your kids. Shaving your hair because Trump won and Kamala Harris lost? This is crazy. I don't know if it's TikTok. I don't have TikTok, and I'm thinking to get it because I need it for my graphic novel, but I'm kind of scared. I said, this is pure psychosis. I think too many people is under drugs, like this medication for depression, anxiety, all this stuff. I think it damaged the brain, honestly. And these kids that take it, this medication, they're still growing, they are not developed yet, and start going there. I mean, no. It's not normal that a woman does something like that, or a man, or set on fire. I saw an adult going around key the Tesla. Adults, moms. It's not normal. This is not a normal things to do. That's why we got to a level that a poor guy, a poor 31-year-old, the only things he wanted to do, have a conversation, have a debate, he got shot in the throat like a freaking animal. Unbelievable. In the United States and America in 2025. This is worse than the Far West. And then obviously they're gonna blame the guns. Yeah, because what about that girl that she got stopped? We're gonna ban knives. And I don't want to say with these gun controls things that the Democrats keep in say, the left keep in say, but Obama was in charge for 8 years. And Biden was in charge for 4 years. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years. The Democrats in charge. If there are so much for gun control, can anybody explain to me why Obama or the Bidens didn't decide to go house by house, from house to house, and seize American citizens' guns, just like they did in Australia, since they talk so much about Australia? Why didn't they do it? That 12 years. Sandy Hook happened when Obama was president. I still remember him crying on TV. Still don't know if he was sincere. Why he didn't do it? That was a good time to do it. They didn't. Why? Because they know they're full of shit. Because they know it's a political suicidal, even for the left. They try to restrict it as much as possible in blue states and blue cities. But even in North Carolina, when we have a blue governor, unfortunately, Roy Cooper and now Josh Stein, we are carry-on state. I can go buy a gun and get the permit. I think you still need a permit. I don't know. Somebody told me no. But anyway, I can go buy a gun and carry it with me. And probably I will. Now, I'm going to take my gun shooting lessons and I need protection. Because people's crazy. Psychopath. And they let them out on the street. Jails are for sure now. So they're full of shit. They're just brainwashing people and they know exactly what they're doing. All these influencers, this media, these politicians, they know what they're doing. They know exactly that Trump is not Hitler. But they say it. And they say somebody need to take him down. And then deny that they say that. So now they deny that he's a far left communist kid, the assassin. They deny, oh no, they try to go around and try to find this blue anon conspiracy that don't make any sense. He was a furry, but he was a fascist. Yeah. And singing Bella Ciao. How the heck in that song came here, I don't know. I'm shocked. My mom is shocked too. She said, I didn't know about in America about this song. As the internet probably, some kind of professor. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I really hope the Charlie Kirk voice is not gone. It actually amplified, and we have to defeat these people. This madness need to stop. Well, that was my thought. I will do more videos about my graphic novel, no more about politics, and let's hope for the best. To the next one.